It's not a ghost, it's the wind. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alice. I go by Hello Alice here on YouTube and I make art videos. And I am super excited for today because if you've been following my channel for a while, or if you came here through any one of my marker challenges, you'll know that I have done quite a few 3 marker challenges in the past. And one of the things that I do with the 3 marker challenge is every time I've done it, I've used a different brand of marker. And for some of the more uncommon ones, I've kind of given my opinion on the markers. And I'm super excited because I have some new markers to try out in another 3 marker challenge. So if you like my 3 marker challenges and you're excited to see this video, then give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to show you the markers that I'm going to be trying out in this video. I'm going to be trying out the... Ooh, it's so crinkly. Art ASMR. These are the Ohuhu Markers. What a fun brand name that is, Ohuhu. So these were sent to me by Ohuhu to try out, and I was like, I've had a lot of people ask me about these markers, if I've tried them, what I think of them, so I'm super excited to try these out for you guys. So they come in a little black canvas box, reminiscent of the Touch New markers. And inside you have the markers. So these are all the colors that you get. I think there's 40 colors in here. And right now these are on Amazon for $20 for a set of 40, so definitely super affordable option for alcohol markers, although these are, I believe, a chisel nib and a bullet nib. So because these are already all mixed up, I'm just gonna go ahead and blindfold myself and pick out 3 markers from here. Is there a colorless blender in here? No. Okay, cool. I wanted to take that out if there was. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and blindfold myself, pick out 3 colors, and then without any further ado, because I know you guys all hate the part where I'm picking out colors and you're like, why don't you just skip to the art? Because then people accuse me of cheating. Markers, blindfold, my eyes are also closed under here. I'm trying not to mess up my makeup before I go to work. Please let me get purple. I never get purple. I didn't get purple. Actually, this is a hella pretty color combination. Okay, so these are the colors I got. I got 6-8, which kind of looks like, it looks like the blue ice Copic color, or whatever it's called. I know what I'm talking about. I got 4-6, which is kind of a grass green, and I got BG9, which looks like a gray, maybe a blue gray, or like a navy gray. This is so pretty. So those are the colors I got. Maybe one day I'll get a 3 marker challenge with purple, but I'm super excited. These are really pretty. They're all really cohesive, so I think I can create something really fun with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw out the picture and get started, and I will let you know a little bit more about how these markers work as well during the actual art. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Okay, so as you can see, I've already done the sketch and I've outlined it with a blue Prismacolor colored pencil. I decided to do that instead of a multi-liner for a softer look. And I have drawn a girl that's basically, she's like a bird. She's part bird, so she has all of these feathers, and it's not a headdress, it's actually like part of her hair. So she's styled it over to the side, but it's growing out of her head. And then she has these long dangling eyebrows, which were inspired by the Thalens in the not Wave Kings, in the Stormlight Archives series by Brandon Sanderson, if any of you have read that. And I also kind of gave her pointed ears, and then I gave her a kind of cool woven shirt with more feathers hanging off it. The colors that I got, I felt were very bird-like. They all matched together really, really well, which was exciting. So I thought it would be, that was like my first thought was like, I want to do something with birds or like feathers. So one of the techniques that I used in this video that you guys actually just saw me doing was a technique that I used in my 1 marker challenge video. I will link that up in the little eye. But basically what you do is you take the marker and you take something like right now I'm using a metal candle lid, and you rub the marker on the inside of the lid or the palette, and then you mix it with rubbing alcohol and you apply it with a paintbrush. So basically you're diluting the marker and then you're applying it with a paintbrush instead of the marker. This is a really good way to get versatility out of your markers if you only have a couple markers, because you can get a lighter color, much lighter color, especially if you have colors like greens or colors that aren't primaries. It can kind of break them down a little bit into their base parts, so they can get more yellow or more blue depending on how much pigment is in them, and you can create more of a subtle gradient as well, especially great if you don't have a colorless blender. So I did that a couple times in this video because I wanted to test it out and see if it worked with the Ohuhu markers, which it did, which was awesome. And also, one of the ways that I approach the marker challenges that I do on my channel is as ways to show you what you can do with just a few markers. I'm not one of those people that believes that you need to own every Copic marker. I actually kind of think, I don't want to say it's a waste of money, because people like to collect things and that's fine, but you don't need every single Copic marker. You can make your own colors, you can blend, you can use different techniques, and you know, things are expensive. So that's why I like to show you all these different options as well as alternatives to things like Copic markers, so these Ohuhu markers are alcohol-based markers, which are like Copic markers, but they're a lot more affordable than Copic markers by a mile. I mean, Copic markers are like $6 or $7 each, and these equal out to about 50 cents each. So that's pretty awesome. And I guess I'll talk right now about how they performed. I really liked them. Like I said, they don't have a brush nib, but I didn't really find that to be too problematic, to be honest. I think a brush nib kind of can make blending a little bit easier, but blending is already hard when you only have 3 colors to begin with. I felt like they blended it just fine. I don't think they blended any differently than my Copic markers. The colors were really pigmented and really beautiful. They were true to the color on the cap. And yeah, I really liked them. I am super excited to use these again. I see myself using them a lot in the future. And I would definitely recommend them to you guys if you're looking for a more affordable solution, because as I said, you know, it used to be that Copic markers were kind of like the only alcohol-based marker that you could really get, that and Prismacolors, both of which were pretty pricey. And now there's a lot more options, especially for people that are looking to see if this is something they're interested in. And I think it's great. I think it's great that there are more options out there. And I will link these down below if you want to pick them up. There'll be a link to all of the supplies in the description box. I will also write the names of the markers that I use, like the colors that I got. And yeah, I liked these markers a lot. I thank you, Ohuhu, for sending them to me so I could try them out. I've had a lot of people request it, so it was good to be able to try it out. So what you just saw was unfortunately a jump. You can see that you kind of missed all the shading on the hair. I'm so sorry for that. My camera ran out of memory space and I didn't notice. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things you can't really refilm something like that. So it is what it is. But it was only about 11 minutes of real-time footage. I just shaded the hair the way I normally shade hair. I used the bullet nib for most of this. I did use the chisel nib in the background a little bit. I really like bullet nibs, actually. I think it's really nice to get lots of little details, and since there were a lot of details on this with the feathers and the texture of the shirt, I found them really useful. One of the things that I like to do when I have a limited color palette is really try to incorporate as much texture as possible into the piece. I did this with my 1 marker challenge as well, and the reason I think it's important is because you can't create as much variety in color spectrum, so you can create variety by incorporating visual texture. The other thing that I like to do when you have a limited color palette is I tried to think really hard, not just about my values, but also about what colors were going to go next to what. So I tried to make sure that there weren't too many colors that were too similar next to each other. I tried to keep things, especially when I was doing these feathers on the hair, the way I varied the feather like color spectrum, I tried to vary it intentionally so that each feather would be distinct against the feather next to it. So I think that's just, when you do these limited color palette challenges, I think it's important to consider all of this different stuff and ways that you can make your piece stronger with just a limited color palette, which is why I actually really like them. I think limited color palette challenges are really great. So for the background, I started to kind of try to do like a fade in, and then it just wasn't working and I didn't like it. I tried to use the rubbing alcohol and it was, I don't know. So I decided instead to fill the entire background in with this blue, and then I went over with just pure rubbing alcohol and a brush to add some texture, and I kind of like brushed it on in a very loose manner so that you could actually see the brush strokes, and that created a super cool texture that I really, really loved. And then I went in over the top with my white metallic like felt tip pen. It's not actually metallic, like it's from a metallic line, but there's no like this one itself wasn't metallic. I've been preferring this over a jelly roll recently. It's a little frustrating because you can't actually see the line as it's going down because it dries opaque, but it does dry really, really opaque when it's done. So that's what I used instead of a white jelly roll to kind of add some highlights. And then also I added in some feather line art in the background just to, again, add more visual and textual interest to a piece with a limited color palette. I'm really, really excited about how this piece turned out. This was such a fun picture for me to do, and it was very soothing for me to work on. It's been a while. No, it hasn't been a while since I've done a 3 marker challenge, but I think this might be probably one of my favorite 3 marker challenges I've done. I loved the color palette that I got, and I really like the idea that I came up with, so I hope that you guys liked it as well. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more from me, then subscribe, hit the notification bell today. I do upload new videos every single Friday, and as always, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye guys!